Today's program has been brought to you by TechServe, New York's original and still the best Apple computer, iPod, and iPhone store and repair shop. For more information, visit techserve.com. You're listening to Heritage Radio Network, broadcasting live from Bushwick, Brooklyn. If you like this program, visit heritageradionetwork.org for thousands more.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes, finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
Driving down the road with blood in my veins. Driving down the road, driving down the road. Red lights driving me insane. Driving down the road with blood in my hair. Driving down the road to get out of here. It's the wrong season, the wrong year. The dead horse beating in my mind needs to be in the clear. Desert sun on my face, burn away all my pain. Run away from here. Desert dreams burn my mind, sand erase all the time. All my tracks, all my tracks, all clear. Flying in the sky with clouds in my eyes. Flying in the sky, flying in the sky. Distance is making me okay. Flying in the sky with clouds in my mind. Flying in the sky, flying in the sky. Flying to a clean state. It's the right season, the right year. The white horse flying my mind away into the whispering clear. Desert sun on my face, put away all my pain. Run away from here. Desert dreams burn my mind, sand erase all the time. All my tracks, all clear.
Joe. Hello and welcome to Snacky Tunes. I'm one half your host, Darin Bresnitz. Greg Bresnitz is out today, gallivanting around New York City. That was just Baby Alpaca with Desert Highway, all caps, HWY at the end. And they will be in studio live later today. Excited to hear you boys play live. If the sound check was anything of note, it's going to be a great performance. But first up, we have Greg Morabito. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got it exactly right. Yeah.
Where's that last name come from?
It's Italian.
Okay.
Yeah. It sounds Japanese, though.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And he is, well, tell us who you are.
Yeah, I'm the editor of the dining blog Eater New York.
So, for those who have never heard of Eater, what is Eater?
Eater is New York's #1 source for restaurant news, gossip, and recommendations.
Just New York?
Oh, no. It's all over this country.
Is it #1 with a bullet everywhere?
I mean, I don't know the exact facts, but I would like to believe so. We have a national site, and then I think we have about 20-odd something other eater sites in different cities. So
It's
yeah.
great. And
thank you.
Amanda Clute, one of the editors, was a previous guest on Snacky Tunes.
I remember that.
You can check
Yeah.
that episode out on our podcast archive.
See how I stack up.
Yes. So, Greg, how did you wind up at Eater? Where did you start writing?
I was somebody that read Eater a lot at a variety of really boring office jobs, and it's something I just really wanted. I became kind of obsessed with the restaurant news and stuff that was on there, and I quit my job. I got a job in a restaurant, and I actually became an intern for Eater and did that. And
Where did you work?
in a restaurant?
Yeah.
I worked as the host of a restaurant called Tipsy Parson.
Tipsy Parsons.
It was in Chelsea.
What's the vibe of Tipsy Parsons?
It's actually a pretty cute little place. It opened right around that time when I started working for Eater, so I was there to see the whole opening. It's like a southern restaurant. The women that run it are sweet as pie. Yeah.
Nice. Bourbon pie? Bourbon pecan pie?
Yeah, cream pie, I think, was something.
And so then how did you wind up at this job then? You were like, I'm a waiter with a dream?
I was an intern / host with a dream, and then there was a little position that opened up, and I did that, and I worked in restaurants for about 1.5 years, and then there was another position that opened up, and it kind of just followed in that same way. So
Amazing.
I was very lucky. Yeah,
It's great. I mean, it's a very coveted role.
yeah. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with that. I've been working for the company for over about 3 years right now. So
So let's talk about some of the things that you've covered.
Mm-hmm.
What has been your favorite story you have covered?
the opening Guy Fieri's restaurant was pretty fun.
Yeah?
Because it was so silly, we all kind of knew, I mean, he's a pretty silly guy. I actually got to meet him once, and he was a really nice guy.
He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
Yeah, everybody I've talked to is like, Guy Fieri's the nicest dude ever.
And surprisingly humble.
And surprisingly humble, yeah. That was pretty fun. That's a really crazy restaurant.
It's nuts.
Have you
And-
been there? Have you been inside?
Yeah, I went to the opening night,
Mm-hmm.
and before then, we all had this joke like, oh, we're going to eat
Right.
there, we're going to do all this stuff. And then once I went there and realized what it was and how expensive it was, I said I could just go to another 2-star restaurant and have a great meal for the same amount of money.
Right. I mean, if you're paying $21 for entrees, the city has a host of better options, hundreds
Yes.
of them.
But, I mean, I guess it has its place.
Yeah. It is, it's mostly for tourists. I don't think they make any bones about it being anything other than that.
No.
It's gigantic. There's 500 seats. The place just keeps going and going.
And
like,
going.
There's different themed rooms. Like, you're in the car room, and then you're in, like, the rockabilly room, and then...
Hey, man, good for him.
Yeah,
Honestly,
whoever designed it did a really great job, I have to say that.
seriously, good for him. I don't know any other Food Network or Food Star who could open up a Times Square restaurant. Honestly.
Yeah? That's something.
I mean, it's something. But good, go get him. But, he's got a Pat LaFrida burger on there, and he's got some stuff.
One of the things I tried was actually the Pat LaFrida burger, and, their meat's really good.
Yeah.
He maybe put too much stuff on top of it.
Donkey sauce?
Yeah, the donkey sauce, exactly.
Yeah.
That was the problem, but...
What's the worst story you covered? What's something that you covered, and you're just like, I wish I hadn't written that?
Oh.
Because the internet never forgets.
The internet never forgets. I don't know. Sometimes we deal with some hot-headed, chefs, and you're writing things about them that are just true. And, sometimes that can be unpleasant. They might write you nasty things and say mean things about you, but,
Can you share any stories, and you don't have to use names, of super scandalous things that you found out about but you couldn't write about?
Oh, happens all the time, my friend.
Give us one. No names.
No, well, okay. I have a story that's similar, and I
Okay.
actually can tell. I actually can
Okay.
tell the name. This is actually when I was still in my early days at Eater, but we'd heard that this restaurant that opened called The Lion. We'd heard that it had a super exclusive ultra VIP table.
I remember the above, right?
Yeah.
Looking down on the peons, as it
Yes.
was.
And it was so exclusive that it had its own staircase that had like 3 parts to it winding up. And it had its own bathroom up there, and it was like 40 feet above the rest of the dining room. And, you wouldn't even, unless you were a huge movie star, a huge politician, there'd be no chance you'd even get a peek up there, So we'd heard about this, and my editor at the time, Amanda, was like, okay, we gotta go in. We gotta check it out. So I tried to go in to grab a photo of this table, and the guy, the maitre d' somehow spotted me and knew that I was writing for Eater, which I thought was so strange.
Yeah.
Because I'd only been working there for 6 months or something like that. And I was like, okay, the degree of difficulty just got a lot harder now, because he knows that I'm maybe trying to snoop around.
Right.
So I covertly at one point just kind of slipped in and walked up the stairs and went up there, and lo and behold, there was a guy up there polishing silverware that was somebody I used to work with at another restaurant.
Amazing.
So I think he spotted me, and then they knew that I was going to try and make a play for it. Yeah.
But you got a photo. I remember the post.
Yeah. That's about maybe the sneakiest thing. That's an ultra level of sneaky that doesn't really ever happen.
That's a pretty level of sneaky. Yeah. But for the most part, I would say you guys work hand in hand with chefs and publicists and things like that around the city, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're a great outlet for those types of stories and events.
Well, if the chef's got a story to tell or they want to talk, we want to present as much news as we possibly can direct from the source.
To talk about news, your coverage of Sandy and yours alone, I remember you posting about what was open and what was going on was really great work.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was a huge team effort from everybody on our Eater staff. But yeah, that was the biggest story I think I've worked on in my 3.5 years of writing about restaurants, and it's still going on, and it's still so sad, and it's getting stranger and stranger every week.
How so?
Well, it's just so unpredictable. Like, there's this restaurant Governor in Dumbo that shuttered, and that was like the big surprise.
That was a big surprise because it was also the one that had the most publicity and support to reopen.
Right. Yes. So it seemed.
I guess so it seemed.
So it seemed. It's a restaurant that was everybody really likes the people that operate it. They're really sweet. They're very talented, and the chef has a lot of friends in the industry and people he's worked with, and they all kind of came together. Their dining room had about 5 feet of flooding, so all these chefs did these benefit dinners with them, and we all thought, like, wow, this restaurant's really going to raise a lot of money. They're going to reopen. But as it turns out, even though they had all these kind of fundraising campaigns, they were already in debt from opening the restaurant, and the chef didn't know if he wanted to come back, and so it just kind of seemed like an uncertain future, so they decided to just kind of call it quits.
Did you get a chance to eat there before it got taken out?
I was at the bar, but I tried some food. I did not have a full meal there, though. But yeah, it was really good, what I tried.
It was on my list. I never made it out.
Their other restaurants are great, too,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, good for them. It's nice they have 2 other places, and hopefully they'll kind of, I don't know.
Well, let's take a quick break, and we'll come back, and we'll talk about some of the new restaurants that are opening up, especially in our hood, McCarran Park, and some other things that are going on. We're about to play a song from an old band with a new song. Postal Service is re-releasing everything. I heard they just sold out Barclays Center, which should be amazing because this reminds me of being in college and things like that. But this is a new song they put out, A Tattered Line of String, here on Snacky Tunes.
We drained every dime in the Lower East Side, and you failed to catch the train back to Queens. So you came to my room, we did some things that we knew not to do in the glow of the night's golden hue. You've got a tattered line of string, and you tied round want to call my own, but it never seems to
All right, Postal Service, new song, Tatterliner String. Yeah, there you go. Feels like I'm 18 all over again.
Yep.
We're here with Greg from Eater, talking about all things food and related in the area. What is your favorite jukebox or playlist at a restaurant? Who has the best?
You know, I'm really digging whatever they're playing at Reynard right now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of like an everyday restaurant for me. I just love it, and anybody that knows me knows I'm, a bit of a sycophant about it, but it's really cool. Like, you go in the morning, and they're playing, like, really great, like, Graham Parsons, like, half of an album, and then switching over to, like, another, good country record. And then, you go at night, and it's like, I don't know, bizarre 60s psych or something. I mean, it's whatever it is. They're just always playing good music, and it's not what you usually hear in a restaurant,
Yeah, I think, do you think music plays a big part in the current New York restaurant scene, or do you think it's getting pushed to the side?
I think, it's certainly like a huge part of the atmosphere, Like, if you go to Ken Friedman's restaurants, any of his places, they have the most eclectic and cool mix of stuff. And it's not stuff you ever hear at any other restaurants, and I really like that. But I feel like, actually, this would even be like a fun thing for Eater. Like, there's maybe like, I don't know, 100 songs that are kind of on like a bunch of iPods all around, Brooklyn, Lower Manhattan restaurants,
Right.
And they just kind of stay on there.
Never leave.
And they never leave, or they don't leave for several years. And, I don't know, it's just a bit of sameness or something.
Well, you guys do that sound check.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like where it's you talk to bands about their favorite food, things like that.
Gabe, our features editor on the national site, does that, and that's really fun. Generally, we're finding that musicians are also kind of like foodies.
What?
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard about this.
I have not heard about that. So why don't you do a radio show based on that concept?
Yeah, somebody should. Maybe in a restaurant.
Maybe at a restaurant. Maybe at like the epicenter of cool restaurants.
Yeah,
in Brooklyn.
I'll just throw that out there.
Yeah, who serves delicious pizza?
I don't know. What do you think? What's your favorite restaurant playlist right now?
I'm trying to think. I like Maison Premier when they play music because that's really relaxing. I always love. I don't know. It's so funny. I'm drawing a total blank right now of when I actually listen to music at restaurants.
Pauly G's in Greenpoint.
Pauly G's.
It's like your
The
dad's record collection, but he had like really good taste when he was in college.
Yeah, I'm drawing. Yeah, that, and also Lady J's.
Oh,
Sam
Lady
always
J's,
plays
yeah?
great country music.
Oh,
awesome. And it's so great that so many places in Brooklyn are getting such attention, and there's even more opening up. I know Oscar, the new version of Frege, is like sitting at the top of your heat list.
It's moved down a few slots recently, but it's still up there, and that place is on fire, man.
I had reservations, and then the storm hit, and I couldn't go.
Oh, really?
Good, delicious.
Yeah. Maybe they have a few things to work out still, but
I think it's tough when your restaurant fit into a bar that's not always just dedicated to being a restaurant.
It's just cool that it's a unusual concept that everybody seems to embrace, and those guy can really cook, and the barman really makes some interesting cocktails, and the place has a good vibe, even though it's not a restaurant all of the time. It's like half a coffee shop run by somebody else in the morning.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's such an unusual project, but I think it's excels because that guy's food is so good.
Well, I think probably one of the more unusual projects that's going to open in the area is Torst.
Oh, yes.
Which I think I'm getting Torst?
Yeah, that's how I'm saying it. Torst.
Torst.
It's Danish for thirst, so I also wonder if it's like Turst.
Turst. So for those who don't know what Turst is.
There's a chef named Daniel Burns, and he cooked at the Fat Duck, and he worked at a bunch of other great European restaurants, and he became kind of the head of R&D for the Momofuku groups. They have this secret laboratory somewhere in the East Village, and he would kind of work through all these ideas that eventually landed at the restaurants. And people that know him know he's this really accomplished chef that's kind of been in the background his entire career. Well, he met up with this gypsy brewer, as they call him, because he's a brewer who has no brewery, who, I can't remember his last name. His first name, I believe, is Jeppy. But he's made all these crazy craft beers for restaurants like Noma and the Momofuku restaurants. And his beer, he has a label with his brother called Evil Twin, I believe. And these are these incredibly hard to find, very rare, craft beers. Well, they're opening a restaurant and bar in Greenpoint that they think is going to be the best beer restaurant in America.
Yeah.
There's going to be like 20 taps, and they're all going to have different temperatures and stuff. I don't know.
It's tough. I feel like to make that claim before you open it's a big claim.
Oh, it's a big claim. Yeah.
It's a big claim, especially in New York where there's a ton of great beer bars.
Yeah, I mean, I met these guys. I got to check out the space, and they were very excited, and they sound really serious about this, Yeah. So, maybe it might not live up to its expectations, but it's unusual and exciting, I think. Also, there's basically going to be a 30-seat restaurant from this chef, and nobody kind of really knows what it's going to be like because he hasn't really been the chef on his own yet, Yeah.
I will have to say that I think the most amazing Williamsburg piece of news is the fact that Corton's Paul LeBrant is coming to open up in the King and Grove Hotel restaurant, which is sat empty for the better part of a year.
Yeah, it used to be Pillar and Plow, and I actually don't know how they've continued to use that. I feel like I walked by one time and saw people eating continental breakfast.
They have... I know during the summer when I go there, you can get food from the pool, which is actually...
That's cool.
Not bad food, actually. It's actually way better than you would expect.
Wow.
And then I've seen people in there, but what's he going to be doing over there?
I think he's just going to be doing a kind of casual version of maybe what he's doing at Corton. I mean, he hasn't really given very many details. He's still going to be the main dude at Corton. He's having one of his executive chefs really run the show day to day, but if you saw that movie A Matter of Taste, which is
great.
Yeah, like one of the best food documentaries ever. They show the chef, and he was riding high on this wave in the early 2000s, and then the economy tanked, and the restaurateurs he worked with were like, okay, you can't serve this fancy food anymore. Like, we need to put a burger on the menu. And he was like, okay, well, I'll make it the best damn burger anybody's ever had.
Yeah.
And, it existed for a little bit like that. And people were like, hey, his cooking's still great. He's just not, using the fancy ingredients.
Tweezers and things like that.
Yeah, and then they had to just let him go. But that makes me excited to think that maybe he will be doing something more casual, and it'll probably be amazing,
It will be. It'll be interesting to see what the price point is.
Right. I don't think you can really stretch more than maybe, let's say, 27 for an entree in this neighborhood, thow. I don't know.
That's even really pricey in Williamsburg. I guess Allswell is pretty expensive, and that's around the corner, and that's got the same price point.
Yeah, I feel it's maybe a little low. I mean, I guess Reynard, some of their stuff is priced in that range.
I guess so.
I don't know. I mean, I think
it's a hot corner. That white
area is coming up, man.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
So what's next for Eater? I really enjoyed your Whale Week.
Oh, thank
all the
you.
Stories on all the super rich, decadent orderings of New York.
Yeah, that was really fun. It was like our most fun-themed week, I think.
It was really awesome.
So far.
It's insane what people spend on one meal.
Yeah, I know. And the interesting thing is we did this week that was all based on high rollers. We actually, put out open calls on the site and said, hey, because we know, a lot of people that spend a lot of money, read Eater and go to these fancy restaurants. We said, hey, would anybody like to share a tale about, a crazy expense account dining or, a crazy dining jag, And people, I think, were a little shy to write in, but I know that they're still out there. But the few kind of stories we heard, it was I don't know, it was just so fun to hear about these people going on these, 5-day just, fine dining binges,
It's just weird that part of why they order so big is to get known for that, and then they never want to really talk about it outside of their circles.
Right. Like to impress people, yeah.
So are you doing any other weeks like that? Are you doing any other special features coming up?
Yeah, we have a few, we always have a few kind of things in the works. We'll probably do another themed week maybe before the start of the summer. We have a big campaign that we just announced today. It's the second year, called Young Guns.
Oh, yeah.
And this is, it's pretty exciting because so like one criticism that people say of Eater and other food blogs, we write about the same chefs, and we're aware of this, but this is an opportunity to kind of name and discover some of the young talent that maybe hasn't been written about, the people that everybody will be writing about maybe in 2 or 3 years from now. So this is totally based on like a nominations process. We have some of the best chefs in the country on this board. And they're going to review all the applications, and they're going to, even recommend them. So hopefully we'll get a really great crop of talent to just say, these are people to keep an eye on. So that's
Awesome.
kind of our big push through the rest of the spring. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me in.
Eater.com. What are the Twitter, nuts and bolts, Facebooks?
Eater New York, so ny.eater.com. Twitter handle is EaterNY. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. I was telling you a while back that I listen to your show all the time when I'm working on stuff at night. So
That's
it's come
great.
full circle. Yeah.
Yes. Boy, you're going to stick around for the music, though, right?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, so we got a couple songs. We're going to take a little pause with a band called Pause here on Snacky Tunes.
It's been at least 10 years and I'm still holding a grudge against you. The bruises and the cuts that you left on my body are stuck like glue.
Ooh. That was just Paw's Homecoming, and Baby Alpaca just cracked some champagne that's bubbling all over the studio.
It's champagne jam.
I just want to make one mention. I forgot that Eater is doing a really nice weekly roundup of the top 5 shows on Heritage. So if you feel overwhelmed by the amount of goodness coming out of the station, you can check that out.
Yeah, well, we love what you guys do, so it's we're happy to point out the good work you guys do.
Awesome. Well, Baby Alpaca, welcome.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Bring the mics to your
Awesome.
face. We'll talk and we'll do all that stuff. Why don't you go around the room, introduce who you are and what you do in the band?
I'm Chris, and I sing and play the auto harp in the band.
Yeah, and I'm Zach.
I'm sorry, auto harp?
Yeah. The auto harp, it's a 32-string instrument, and it's traditionally a folk instrument.
Wow.
And I put it on a lot of pedals that make it sound a bit more like kind of like a synth. It's kind of like very dreamy, soundscapey feel.
And you didn't want to bring it in today?
No, we don't have it today.
Is that the thing the guy from the Lovin' Spoonful used to play?
Probably. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
really... it
You hold
can
it up
be
kind
very...
of,
Yeah,
yeah.
I hold it like... Yeah,
Ah.
this. And there's different ways that people rock it. I used to play it on a keyboard stand, and then I just started playing it like standing up and
Different
like
ways to
resting on
rock
my
the
leg.
harp.
Oh, wait, we got
It's
one
a
last
little
guy.
More fun.
Yeah, I'm Robert, and I play the drums.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Today's filling in with the djembe.
It's a good looking drum over there. So, who are you guys? What do you do? What do you dream? I remember reading about you saying that you started singing, walking around as a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
So it's always been your dream.
Yeah,
I
I've
guess.
always loved music and just the way I love to just kind of like see everything around me, like the world, what I see and ponder through music. I think is really fun. Like I express everything I see in that way, and I think it's what I chose as a form of self-expression as an artist. And I love the woods and would kind of like I love Disney movies and The Wizard of Oz and musical films when I was really young, and would just kind of like walk around and sing, and was always kind of a dreamer, and then ended up like moving to the city and meeting Zach and learning about rock and roll. And my mom always was kind of a rock and roller too, so like I would listen to a lot of that with her when I was young, like on cassettes.
I can see that mashup of. I feel like there's always a scene with a Disney princess in the forest singing or doing something. And who knew it would manifest itself into an awesome band.
Yeah.
I wish that you would, when you put down your influences, like if you like Sleeping Beauty or Belle from Beauty and the Beast, you might like our band.
Beauty and the Beast was my favorite. And I love Fox and the Hound, which that doesn't have music really.
Fox and the Hound's a classic.
But I love the story. Yeah, I like him with like a Belle, Fox and the Hound hybrid.
Yeah, that's good.
Give it enough time, I'm sure Disney will do it.
Yeah. And so you guys all hooked up and you met, and what year was this? When did you guys all meet?
We met 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then
Robert more recently.
and Robert, we just is a newer addition. Probably like, when did we meet you, Robert? Do you even know?
Maybe November or something.
So as you've met each other, have you added instruments to the band, or did you have other people playing those instruments?
Yeah, there were other people playing them before. So
Sorry, dudes, no pizza for you.
yeah, we call them the X's, but love them all.
Aw. Well, let's hear a song. Let's bust out a jam. What are you gonna play first?
I think we're going to play a song called Not Strong Tonight.
Okay.
And
All right, here we go, Baby Alpaca, here live on Snacky Tunes.
It's so quiet in my room, I got the darkest view tonight. Looking out my window at the tears rolling down the hillside. Down the hillside. Neighbors got the radio on
a single on repeat. You're stuck in my head tonight. You're stuck in my head tonight. I'm trying so hard to sing another song. I'm trying so hard, but I'm just not strong tonight. I'm just not strong tonight, tonight. If I could turn back time, I'd do it all the same. I lost my heart, I lost my brain that first night. I fall in love so fast, it's just life. Like a high bird flies. You are my love, you are my life. And when you left, I thought I'd die at the sight of your back fade into black in the night, the night, the night. I'm trying so hard to sing another song. I'm trying so hard, but I'm just not strong tonight. I'm just not strong tonight, tonight. And the day went away, I felt just like a stray, singing blue tunes in an alleyway, playing our song, playing our song, playing our song.
Nice. Was that our song?
Yeah.
Playing our song
That's
together?
Our song.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
Awesome.
really nice.
Really nice. Perfect
Thank
music
you.
for a day like today.
Yeah, I think our song was referring to another song on our EP, and then also on our record. It's called Run With You, and it's like we've been rocking it for a while.
Self-referential to the
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, it was just like something I was thinking about because the song Run With You is just like about, is very much like about your friends and the way that we stick together and like help each other as artists and as people and just like having fun in the world and like in our lives. And then just kind of if you lose that, it can just be really lonesome. And it actually, like, in my own personal experience, losing it after I even wrote that song Run With You, and then regaining like friendship again and seeing how important something is, and when you realize when it's gone, that made me write Not Strong Tonight.
I think gaining and losing friendships is a big part of New York that a lot of people don't always feel comfortable talking about, but it's probably one of the toughest things to maintain in this city is a lot of close friendships. You can have a lot of friends and a lot of people that you know and go out and that, but the real close friendships, they take a lot of work, and the good ones can go away and come back. That's the other thing people don't tell you is that
I think
you may
that's
not
what
see
that
somebody.
show. I think that's what that show Girls is about.
Oh
actually.
my god, that girl, that show cuts a little too close to the bone, I would say.
I feel like I'm the only person that hasn't seen that. I mean,
It,
it's
you know
supposed-
what?
It's about
Seen
girls
it,
living
like
in-
it. I'm good with it.
It's the most
Yeah.
important show ever.
Right.
It's the most
I've
realistic
heard.
show.
That and True Blood.
Yeah. That is CSI Miami.
It's the Brooklyn
love CSI.
vampire sex show without so much the vampires.
Takes place on a manor in the English
Yeah.
countryside.
So you guys live around here?
Yeah, I live in Williamsburg on Bedford.
Where are you guys?
Subletting.
Subletting. It's a hot spot. We're
Yeah,
just
hot
talking
spot,
about. Are you
yeah.
guys eating any of these new restaurants? Where do you guys eat when you're in town?
Roebling Tea
Yesterday we
Room.
ate at Roebling Tea Room. That's my fave burger.
It's a great burger.
It's so good.
That's
it's
a great
like
restaurant.
grease ball of a burger.
Yeah.
It's a great restaurant in general, yeah. And I just love the burger. And I also love this, like, everyone that runs it and works there. I
Have
think
you
it
seen Bill
has a
Murray
really
there?
Good attitude. I never have. No, but my friend has. My friend Rory.
Bill Murray's son works at Roebling Tea Room, and he's been known to.
Isn't it his restaurant?
Does he own it?
I think so.
I don't know.
I think
Bill Murray
you
owns a
maybe
lot.
would know.
I thought that Bill Murray's son was like a sous chef there or something. I
Yeah.
don't even know if
He's
he's still
one of
working, but the chef there, actually, Dennis Spina, who's been there for years, is, I think, a pretty talented dude. They're opening another place in Greenpoint, too, actually.
Greenpoint, man. Greenpoint's
I
on
know.
fire.
Yeah.
Do you guys cook a lot? Do you guys cook a lot when
I
you're in the
love-
studio?
I
and-
love cooking.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually I would say I'm a pretty...
How are those knife
good
skills?
cook.
On a 1 to 10.
Zach, you should
Yeah.
rate it since you've had a lot of my cooking.
I mean, his knife skills are 10.
10.
Straight up, yeah, they're really.
Oh yeah, I'm a fast knifer.
Yeah, it's
though
amazing.
I have slipped up with it and cut myself.
But you're not a 10.
That's a badge of honor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had to write a tour writer of, like, food you want for your dressing room?
That would be cool. Usually we don't
We're
eat
trying
too
to
much
get there.
before shows.
Got it.
So
I'd
like-
like to have a big writer just so we can see like the fabulous spread, but maybe eat it after the show. Yeah.
Yeah, single and double stuff Oreos, right? Both.
Right.
So what do you
Always.
cook? What do you make?
I think I love to make pizza.
Really?
Yeah.
At home pizza's that's a tall
It's
order.
Cool. Yeah, it's so much better. My pizza's been also compared to like a lasagna because I like to put tons of stuff on it and in it, and usually like to do a lot of like themed pizzas too, like Mexican pizzas, because Mexican food is also one of my favorites.
And you do the cheese underneath the sauce. Don't you?
Oh, like Chicago style.
Yeah, use some under, some on. Sometimes a lot. I also like to make braised short ribs. Or one of my
Oh,
favorite things.
that's great.
Yeah, I love
Set
the
it and forget it,
slow
right?
cook and stuff is so good. Yeah, 4 hours later.
It's really good. It's just I usually find that when I'm braising, I have to have a mid-braised snack of something on hand
Yeah,
because the whole house starts smelling
Yeah.
so good, and you go, all right, I'm not going to make it 4 to 6 hours.
I need a slice of pizza or something.
Yeah.
And one thing that I would like advise anyone making at-home pizzas is, especially if you're a New Yorker, is to go ahead and like go to a Ray's Pizza or any of the pizza shops and use their dough, because it takes a lot of the time and preparation like out of the cooking, and they'll do a much better job than you will at home.
Yeah, dough
So-
is the trick.
Yeah,
And you can stretch those doughs to like 2 at-home pizzas.
it's so easy to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hear another song.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's,
yeah. Good.
let's play Run With You.
Yeah, let's play Run With It. Let's hear what our song is all about. Here we go. Baby Alpaca again here on Snacky Tunes.
When the water's on the rise, the waves are getting high, getting rough, you stay with me. When the going's getting tough and life is on the rocks, you stay up, you stay with me. When the clock begins to tick and I am losing it, you speed me up, you stick with me. When the moon is on the rise, the people drop like flies. You stay up, you stay with me. I run with you, 'cause you're always game. We'll ride on forever, take me with your wild ways. 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 Show me the way. When the race is getting hot and people start to drop, you keep up, always near me. When the trail is getting long, I start to fall behind. You pull me up, you stick with me. I run with you, 'cause you're always game. We'll ride on drinks to pour and people shut their doors. You open up, step out with me. When the heart is on the line, you never say it's gonna be fine. You just stay there with me. I run with you 'cause you're always game. We'll ride on forever. Take me with your wild ways. 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 Show me the way. Show me the way.
Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Roberto.
That was a great song.
That was great. Yeah, the infamous effects button that got taken away from us.
That's awesome.
Because we used to play drops instead of hand claps. So what do you guys have coming up? What's on the docket?
Yeah, we have a few things going on. Right, it's been really fun lately because we're, as a band, like, have been playing a really long time and really like honing in on our craft and like on playing together and working on all of our recordings, which we have done in so many different places, and it's been an amazing experience. We just like finished recording 16 songs.
Wow.
And like worked in a studio in LA for a long time, finishing them all up, and I'm really excited with how they turned out, and finally are starting to like, you know, kind of come out as a band, and it's been really fun to finally actually
Get to
be
play
able
out.
to play out and like spread the music around. And we're about to go to LA and go to Palm Springs in the desert, and we're working on like music videos and some of the other like art and creative projects that come along with like being in a band.
But we should
which
plug
is
the show
really
that we're
cool.
playing. We're playing on the 19th at Pianos.
Yep, we're playing
That's
the
it.
19th at Piano, so that'll be cool. And we're probably gonna, you know, play a show in LA when we go there too. And we're about to start releasing singles from our record, and then we're gonna release an EP in April that has 4 of the songs from the record on it. And then we'll like release our video around then, which is for the song Wild Child,
Awesome.
which is one of my favorite songs.
Are you guys always a three-piece?
We've played with many configurations. We're a 4-piece. Usually we have a bassist that we play with, and then we also play with strings sometimes, so that can turn us into like a 6-piece easy or 7-piece.
Piano.
And a piano. But Zach plays the piano too, so we don't have like an extra person for
Some
that.
of the songs we wrote to do like either on guitar or piano, depending on, because pianos are kind of more rare.
Yeah, so sometimes
And we like, you know, live pianos, I mean, real pianos.
And who are you playing with at pianos?
we're playing with a band called Teletextile.
That's a good name.
Yeah, my friend Pamela is the singer in the band.
And where did you get your name from?
We're called Baby Alpaca. I wrote a song when I was first started writing music. I had a sweater that was made out of baby alpaca, and I also had like a dog, a black chihuahua named Apple, who passed away. God bless her heart forever. And I was just like holding her in the sweater one day, and I started writing a song. It was like, would you be my baby alpaca? I would keep you warm from the frigid weather, save you from the storm. Would you be my baby alpaca? I would keep you warm from the January cold and breezy winds. Would you be my baby alpaca? I will keep you cool in the heat of summer, shave off all your wool. Will you be my baby alpaca? We could have some fun. Let's go skinny dipping out on the pond.
Nice. Very nice.
And then I was playing my first show. It was actually in Ohio, where I'm from, and they were like, what are you going to call yourself? And I was like, I really like the name Baby Alpaca, like, as a song. So I went by that one first day, and then just kept rocking it. And then now we've become a band of baby alpacas.
Amazing. Is there a name? You know, it's like a murder of crows. Is there a name for a group of alpacas?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
A fluff.
A flock?
A fluff.
Fluff.
Good.
Well, I want to thank you guys, and before we have you play us out, what are all the nuts and bolts of website, SoundCloud, Twitter?
Your website is babyalpaca.ca, so it's babyalpa.ca.
It's a Canadian website.
Nice.
Canadian website. It's a very clever play on WWs by my friend Tyler Love. And you can follow us on Twitter at babyalpacalove and on Instagram at babyalpaca.
And SoundCloud.
And we also have a SoundCloud.
Amazing. So I want to thank my guests, Baby Alpaca, Greg, Joe, Jack, Heritage, Aaron, everybody. It's been amazing.
Thank you.
What are you
for
going to play us out
having
with?
us.
Let's play it, and on a high fun note, this song's called On the Road.
Okay, here we go. Baby Alpaca one last time, live on Snacky Tunes.
Maybe can you turn down that effect a little bit?
Yeah.
I wanna find another roamer on the road. We can share a story.
Thanks for listening to this program on heritageradionetwork.org. You can find all of our archived programs on our website or as podcasts in the iTunes Store by searching Heritage Radio Network. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at heritage_radio. You can email us questions at any time at info@heritageradionetwork.org. Heritage Radio Network is a non-profit organization. To donate and become a member, visit our website today. Thanks for listening.